So you need to sell your home and you're thinking about using one of these cash offer or iBuyer type things, right? So today I want to break down a couple of things with those iBuyers, with those cash offers, and kind of give you an idea of what you're actually going to be dealing with. So stick around if you want to learn more about what the truth is behind a cash offer with no commissions, no agent fees, all that other fun stuff. Stick around, you're not going to want to miss this one. All right, so if this is your first time to our channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and of course, ding, 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 ring that bell for more information about real estate, about Arizona, Phoenix, the real estate market out here in Arizona, all things real estate and living in Arizona. Anyways, we get phone calls, emails, text messages from people like you all the time. People are looking to sell, people are looking to buy, people are looking to relocate out here to Arizona. So whether or not you're looking to make a move in 9 days or you're looking to do it in 9 months, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to answer any questions that you have related to your upcoming move. Even if, like I said, it's not even like a date on the calendar yet. So let's talk about these iBuyers, right? So cash offers, why would you use a cash offer, right? So let's talk about that first. So I've got, I'm gonna pop up some information here and I'll put it up on the screen here in a little bit, but I'm gonna just go over the scenario that this particular seller that we worked with had is their scenario, right? So they were a little bit, I don't want to use, well, they were a little bit older and they were just like, look, I don't feel like having a bunch of people trouncing through my house. I don't want to deal with it. I can't deal with it. I just need to get a cash offer. And so first thing I did was I said, all right, well, let's look at that. And I immediately dug into my investor database. And so what I ended up with was about 3 or 4 different cash offers for these folks. And so what I did is I sat down and I said, all right, here's your 4 cash offers for your property. And then I also simultaneously ran a market analysis on their home and based off of what had sold in the neighborhood, what I felt that they could get for their house. Now, just for the sake of numbers, these are real numbers. My thoughts were that they could probably get around like 610, 615, maybe 625. And they could get 625 if they just did a couple little things that we had recommended for them to do. Not a lot. This house is pretty turnkey, pretty clean, not a lot to do. At the end of the day, we went with an iBuyer program. And so what's the difference, first off, between an iBuyer and a cash offer from an investor? Now, a cash offer from an investor is pretty clean, right? So they would just come in and say, look, this is what we're going to give you, right? This is the sales price that you're going to get on the sale of your home, right? And so that's kind of how that would work, right? And so with the iBuyer, what they typically do is they say, oh, we're going to give you X. So in this instance, they said, we'll give you $606,800 as the sale price for your home. Seller's excited. Awesome. You told me 610, 615, maybe 625. Here I've got an offer for 606. Okay, so let's do the math, right? So I've got a calculator here. I'm just going to pull it out real quick. So I charge 2.5% on the list side, right? And so since we weren't working with another agent, we could just go that way, right? But if we were going to work with another agent, in this case, the seller said we'd like to give the buyer's agent, 2.5%, because it was a conversation we had. So let's just call it at, for the sake of this conversation, we'll go with the 606,800 minus 5%. That would have given them a cost of $30,340 in commissions. Now, everybody's like, oh, there's all these, blah, 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 commissions with real estate agents. Let's talk about this. So up on the screen, you're going to see this is the first few lines of what we call the settlement statement. And so in that settle statement, you can see contract price, $606,800. Deposit or earnest money, $1,250. I mean, that's irrelevant, right? Service charge, 5%. So their service charge was 5%, $30,340. They advertise, these folks always advertise no commissions to pay. Well, whether it's a commission or a service fee, it's the same freaking cost. It's still $30,340. And if you look the next line further, repair credit was $26,096 for that repair credit. Granted, my opinion, and I'm just an agent, but my opinion is that had we gone into a traditional sale, that would have been closer to like 5. So that's neither here nor there, right? So I went over all this with the seller. So I want to pre-emphasize this. This is not a conversation of look how I ripped off my seller. This is, I gave this seller the choices. I gave this seller the information every step of the way. The beautiful thing was, by the time we got these numbers, they still had not signed the contract. So before they signed the contract, they had the offer, they knew what the service charge was, and they knew what the repair credit was. So they knew that this is what this was going to end up being, and I was able to compare it with other investors. So granted, remember, I got like four offers from investors. This one was the best. So I had another iBuyer come in, and their starting was at $575 with almost identical costs. So that was already $20,000 or $30,000 lower. I had another investor, straight investor. It's like, look, we'll do this easy for $525. No problem. Done. So long story short, if you're thinking about selling your home and you're looking at the option of a cash buyer, just understand that this is what it's going to end up being. In this instance, had we gone the traditional route, our sellers would have netted at least $576, call it $575 for math. That would be my goal, maybe $570 if we had to do $5,000 to maybe $10,000 worth of negotiations on the inspection period. Fair market value on this was easily, like I said, $610, $615. So we would have been at, roughly $10,000 higher on the sales price on this thing potentially. So just understand you have two choices, convenience or extra cash. If you're going for the convenience, which for these folks, they needed to, we were able to now write an offer without a contingency because this was already done. They were able to do a post-close possession that we negotiated inside of this. So they were able to move into and purchase stress-free their purchase. That was more important to them than the $25,000 that they potentially lost here. Or maybe even up to $30,000. So it was worth $30,000 to these folks for the convenience and the lack of stress for them to be able to sell the house, know it was a done deal, wasn't going to fall apart at the 11th hour. There wasn't financing deals that were going to fall apart. This was just going to be a done deal. And then they were able to walk into their next home. They had decent amount of equity in this property. And guess what? They wrote a check, cash for their next purchase. That was worth $30,000 for these folks. So the question is, what is it worth for you? It's either convenience or an extra cash. My job is to help navigate through that and say, which would you rather do? And if you're going to, if you call me to list your home, I will get you at least 3 offers, cash offers on your property right up front, right from the get-go, to help you navigate and at least decide what this will be, if that's what you really want to do. A lot of times people say, well, what would a cash offer need to be? And immediately I can tell you what it is, because it was basically, 7.5%, about 7.5% off the fair market value of the house. So just know that math in the top of your head that yes, you may be saving on commissions, but did you really? So if you have any questions on this topic, feel free to reach out. Like I said, there's a place for this. We used it. It worked great for them. They were very happy. We guided them through this, and at least at the end of the day, they approved every step of the process. They knew the direction they were going, and it was their decision. They said, no, this is what we want to do. It might not have been what I would do at my point in my life. Maybe in 20 years, I'd say, yeah, you know what, whatever, let's just get this done. I don't want to deal with it. It's just like trading in your car. Yes, I could probably get $4,000 or $5,000 more by putting a for sale sign on my car and parking in my driveway versus trading into the dealership. But dealers trade in cars every single day. So just something to think about. Reach out if you have any questions. We'll catch you next time.